We have an in-studio guest. We've got Mr. Stirling Cooper is in town.
I'm here today to tell you why, as a man, you don't want to follow me. Number one, I don't respect men.
Why are men following her?
Because most guys are simps.
Why guys cannot possibly just see you as a friend. Every guy friend that I've ever had always ends up confessing feelings.
Why does she feel the need to have male friends in the first place?
What do you think she's getting?
I'll tell you what she's getting. She's getting attention from men.
Yeah, of course.
Why
are they there then?
Because they want to her.
Men aren't really approaching as much as they used to.
Why do you think they're not approaching women in the same?
Well, women made a global witch hunt against flirting, and now they're mad that men aren't flirting with them.
Shorty's body count was 152. She had a notes app of every guy that she had ever slept with, along with keynote qualities.
Are you able to tell a high body count girl without their confession?
Yeah, you could. Well, especially
How do you tell?
By how.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Okay, this day is very special. You'll notice we're not in my house right now. Uh-oh. Where'd we go? What's happening? Shit's going to hit the fan. Uh-oh. Already cursing. All right. Welcome. Brand new episode of the Jedediah Bila Show. And the reason that we are here is we are in Austin, Texas today. And we came into studio because we have an in-studio guest. We've got Mr. Oh, yeah, it's coming. Stirling Cooper is in town. Stirling. You may know him. He's got his YouTube channel, Stirling Cooper. You know that. He has a new website, stirlingforher.com. Ooh. He's given advice to the ladies on how to get the best from their men that they possibly can get. We're going to get to that. Don't you worry. So guys in the audience, in the chat, I see you. You want to, pass this along to a girlfriend. It might be a good idea. Just saying. All right, Sterling, welcome.
Good to see you again.
I'm so excited. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Well, you're in the house. This is a reaction show. So what we do is we play some clips and we're going to talk about them and we're going to dig right in. So Logan, when you're ready, you can play clip number 1. Here we go.
I just think that most men, the majority of men, are just so boring. And they don't have any emotional depth. Nothing is going on, below that surface. They are so mundanely average and just boring. Yeah, just so boring. Speaking to most of them is just speaking to a brick wall. There's no emotional depth going on there. And I think that's why women struggle in so many relationships with men, because women have so much depth and so much to feel and think and give. And I think that's why most women do struggle in relationships with men, full stop, because they find it hard to connect with most men because most men just don't have any depth at all, And that's why most women will get more out of female friendships, relationships with other women, than they ever will do in friendships with men and romantic partnerships with men.
Man alive. So this is it's women are amazing and men are terrible clip. And also this also bleeds into the I don't need a man, right? Because she's saying that women get more out of their female friendships than they could ever get out of a relationship with a guy who just has no depth. So Stirling, your reaction first.
Okay, so there's a couple of things to unpack there. When she talks about men not having an emotional depth, right? What she actually means is that most guys aren't emotionally stimulating her enough. I don't think she's talking about men aren't using her as their emotional tampon and dumping all their woes and anxieties onto him,
stress and all that. Yeah, no.
Because when the average guy hears that, the message he hears is be more emotional, be more in touch with your emotions, and vent like a woman does, right? But I don't think that's what she actually means. I think what she actually means is she wants a dude who has good banter, as they would say in the UK. A guy who's gonna flirt with her and get her emotions spiking. Give her a bit of a jab here and there, flirtatiously, make her actually react. Because without that, it's flatline boring for most women.
Yeah. The thing is, though, note to the guys, they can't. The first part of what you said about guys not being emotional is key, because if this guy heard this message, right, and suddenly, was crying watching The Notebook, or was trying to commiserate with, or became very feminine, right, stepped out of his masculine and wanted to kind of, compliment her emotional level, that guy will immediately get friend zoned, right? Immediately. They don't want you, and this is why the mixed messaging that comes from women is fascinating to me, because this is like a loaded comment. They don't want you to be emotional. They want you to provide this perfect combination of banter. And my question to her is, honey, like, why don't you just use your female friends for that, right? I don't understand why you would need or want this from a man. And the question is, do they ultimately want this from a man? Like, will that guy, even if he straddles this perfect balance of catering to her need for emotional depth, whatever that means, honey, is that guy going to get it right? Like, really? Or is he is there a way to satisfy a woman like this?
You know what's interesting is there's certain phrases that women will throw around in a relationship. One of them is like some variation of this, which is like, I want you to communicate more. And when a woman says that, it's pretty clear to me at this point in my life that when a woman actually says, I want you to communicate more, what she actually means is, I want you to tell me that you love me and you miss me. Like, practically, that's what that actually means.
That's all, though.
That's all. That's all. That's
where
it.
It begins and ends.
Because it's what she's actually asking for is for the man to alleviate her anxiety and insecurity. Mm-hmm. That's what she means by, I want you to communicate with me more. It's just, text me, you miss me every now and then.
You'll also, it's a good point, because you'll notice that women will say, oh, I want more emotional depth, but they really don't want to hear from you. Really, they're not interested. The second you would start talking about your day or your woes, which you shouldn't do, right? Don't unload on them, because then you become a stressor. Then forget it, she'll leave you. But the second you start doing that, you notice she tunes out. She's not there for that. She's there for you to be a really active listener, and then basically dote. Honey, I love you. You're amazing. The way that you get around this, guys, I'm telling you, man. You walk around, you say, honey, wow, you look so great today. A little sexy tap of the behind, something like that. You compliment her. You remind her that she's loved. You give the affection, all of that. I think that's what they're talking about, because this whole emotional depth, every situation that I know, every single one where you have a woman who says to her man, I need you to be more emotionally deep, that guy somehow turns into a female, and then she leaves him. She leaves him. And every time she leaves him for the stoic guy at the bar that's clearly been through hell and back. He looks like he's been through a horrible war, but he's still good looking somehow. He's got his, whiskey, and he looks like he's been through it, but he doesn't share any of that pain. She leaves the guy she asked for the emotional depth with and goes to that guy who doesn't share his emotional depth. So bottom line is, audience, she's lying. It's a trap. It's a trap. Trap number one that we have unfolded with Mr. Stirling Cooper. Do y'all get that? Y'all get that? Don't start being emotional, because it's a lie. It's like how nice guys finish last. Oh, I want a nice guy. She doesn't. She's lying. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. We're going to give you what you want. Listen, I told you, hit the subscribe, you hit the like, you pump it up. We bring great guests, and Stirling's right here. See, Mama delivers. All right. Number 2, Logan. Let's hit it.
Hey, it's me, Haley. I'm here today to tell you why, as a man, you don't want to follow me. I have been followed by wholly too many men. It's deeply upsetting. I really haven't thought these through yet. Number 1, I don't respect men. Just generally, I don't really respect them. I've cheated on men. I don't treat you guys very well. I'm generally kind of mean. I expect you to pay for everything for a while, for a good while, actually. If your girlfriend comes to me for advice, you are getting buried. You're getting buried. I'm on her side 100%. I'm not here for you. I love Taylor Swift and I'm annoying about it. I don't think you guys are good enough to do Pilates. It's actually kind of sad. It's pathetic. Y'all do not have the ability to do the slow movements. You say it's not that hard, but you're going 1 second out, 1 second in, when clearly the cadence is supposed to be 4 out and 4 in. This one is going to upset some people. Pro-life men that have shown up here. If your mistress got pregnant, you would want her to get go home. You have no right to comment on women's bodies. My number 1 biggest fear is developing feelings for somebody and then it turning out that they have a small penis. Truly, it haunts me. Think about it anytime I'm dating. If that's you, also you can leave, because I don't respect you. I actually don't think you're a real man. That's what I say to my girlfriends in the group chat, at least. I started making content about dating thinking that I like to watch it. I like to watch other girls that make dating content. It's funny. It's commiseration. Whatever. It's for the girls. That's what I thought I was doing. Unfortunately, what it has turned into is a lot of men in the comments and a lot of men in the follows. I saw another girl do this recently, and I'm copying her. I'm going to tag her in here because queen.
Okay. All right. The ego, the head is inflated like a hot air balloon. Why are men following her? Why?
Because most guys are simps.
Okay.
And it's just pretty girl talking on camera.
Okay. Can I just say something, though? All right. Somebody's got to say it, so why not be me? The audience is like, oh, here she comes. She's attractive. Okay. Objectively an attractive girl, but she's not here. Okay. So now you have these slightly better than average looking women that now suddenly feel that they're here. And they act like you owe them the world. Like they don't have to be nice. They don't have to respect you. They can treat you like garbage. And they don't care because guys are still giving them time. How do you get, this is my number one question. How do you get guys to wake up and stop giving them time? Because the day they stop giving them time, this stops.
It's hard because like there's an overabundance of guys who don't get any attention from women, an overabundance of simps, an overabundance of dudes with no sexual or dating options whatsoever. And that's where you end up with this phenomenon of overinflated female egos, dudes sliding in the DMs, dudes giving them a follow and giving them giving them attention, effectively rewarding them for behavior, right? Like, who hurt that girl?
Right.
Like, that girl's been hurt.
Right. Damaged.
She's like that.
Yes. This is your damaged. This is your damaged woman, right? And she hates all guys. She's a man hater, right? Openly misandry. You know, you just see that all over the internet. They don't care. We got banned on TikTok actually for just, no reason. But people like this get celebrated because it's like, I hate men. They're all bad. And some, bot back there has been trained to say, oh, yay, that's great.
And then the not so subtle body shaming
of course
of men in there too.
Of course.
It's the funny thing about a woman like this is the moment she would be around a guy who doesn't buckle to that frame. The moment she's with a guy who is traditionally masculine, let's say, flirtatious, confident, ticks all these boxes, like she is going to do a complete 180.
Have you ever gone on a date with a girl with an attitude like this and seen it shift? Now, granted, you wouldn't be attracted to this woman because God help us all. I mean, my ears, I have the headphones on and I'm still cringing. But how, let's say you met a woman, or have you ever seen this happen where they have a certain attitude with the ego and all the nasty stuff, and then they do encounter a more masculine guy and they shift away from all that and suddenly become like this feminine dainty sunflower? I mean, does that happen, you think?
It does. Maybe not. I've never been on a date with a woman that extreme. Quite personally.
That nasty.
I have more self-respect than that.
Than to go, right. And that's the lesson, guys. You notice he's not going to DM a girl like that. He's not going to give her time. And that's what you got to do.
I don't give him a follow. I don't give him... I
Nothing.
Scroll past that. I wouldn't even give that 4 seconds of my attention.
Yeah.
But I've been on dates, and friends of mine have been on dates with women who might share somewhat similar views to her.
Uh-huh.
And
there's a flip in the power dynamic.
There's a flip. They're acting like a trad wife within
Interesting.
within a couple hours.
If guys step into that scene, hold frame, as you're saying, it's very clear that the power dynamic lies with them. It's interesting what might happen to these women, though. They might suddenly become, I mean, listen, if she's nasty and mean, and it's not going to all take that away, but the power dynamic might flip. And suddenly, because she seems like she's, the queen here, but she might quickly become not so much,
Like, how old do you reckon she is?
Late 20s.
Late 20s?
I would have said like 28.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I think, so this is like, that woman can still have whenever she wants, And with this attitude, she can do it whilst having this really, grotesque attitude.
Yeah.
But eventually time's going to catch up with her. And that's when this sort of attitude is going to turn into the resentment is going to take a different form, and the fact of
she'll still be mean. It'll just be for a different reason.
But it's like, here's why men are because they won't date me.
Right. So that's like a 35, I would say. 30 I mean, it depends. It depends how they age and all that. But I would say 35 is a safe spot where the panic sets in.
Because right now she's getting attention from guys, and I guarantee you she's been being taken to bed by men who are basically just like ignoring every word that comes out of her mouth during that interaction, so they can just get laid.
Yeah. And she's a leftist too, because she hates the pro-life men. So that's just icing on the cake. A leftist psychopath. How exciting. She also says outright, what's interesting to me is these girls now have these TikToks, and it's just an open advertisement for why not to choose them. Like, oh, she's a cheater. I don't respect men. Like, what self-respecting guy really is going to see this video? I cheat on all my boyfriends, and I don't respect men, and you're not strong, and I don't like pro-life, and all this stuff. And then they're going to be like, click, oh, can I take you out to a nice dinner? I mean, ultimately, I don't know if they're going to go through a mass delete or something, but ultimately, they are not going to attract the man they ultimately want to marry. Maybe they'll attract some guys who say, oh, she's really hot and I don't care that she's loud. I'll just ignore her and just do this and never talk to her again. Maybe that'll happen. But what self-respecting man is going to take this home to mom? Let's be real.
Yeah. It's going to be a guy with zero self-esteem. Like the only kind of guy who would end up in a relationship with that woman is a guy who doesn't have any self-esteem.
He's got no options. Yeah.
Well, but like, it's going to be this really interesting intersection of a Venn diagram where it's like he somehow meets all these criteria that she has. Right. He's good looking enough or whatever, but then he's got such little self-esteem that he would put up with a woman like that. And so she's going to be wearing the pants in the whole relationship, and she'll probably cheat on him, like she said.
She said it outright. I don't respect you. I'm going to cheat on you. Ooh, honey, come home to mom. Let me buy you a bouquet of flowers. I mean, guys, listen. I always tell you, look at the TikTok and use it to your advantage, if you know what I mean.
I wonder if she's got that on her Tinder profile, like or like her Bumble profile. Like that's like the first thing you see.
Could be.
Is just that video.
Could be. How inviting.
I bet she would. I bet she would still get swiped.
And there's some masochists too.
She would still get matches if she put that up on her profile.
There's guys that are masochists, and I don't know. I say to guys sometimes, I'm like, do some of you guys like to be led around on a dog leash? Or like, what's going on that you like to be humiliated in this respect? Guys, not my audience, of course. Classy types. All right. Number 3. Let's hit it.
So last night I was at this bar, right? And I met this girl. And I'm like kikiing with her, like we're having a great time. And the topic of body counts comes up. And she asked my friend and I to guess. So him and I guess, and she's like, go up. Like him and I guess like 40 and 20. And she's like, think double. So it's like 80, and she's like, think more than that. And I was like, holy shit, right? And so I was like 100, and she's like, more. And I'm like, what the f? Shorty's body count was 152. She had a notes app. She pulled it out. She showed me this notes app of every guy that she had ever slept with, along with like keynote qualities. So like some of them like ate me out, was a munch, worked in finance, like played lacrosse, was French, like that kind of stuff. And then at the very bottom, she had like a tally of like repeat qualities that she had noticed in these men. So like, for example, like 5 of them were French, 10 of them were artists. And I was like, oh my God, like that's insane to me. Like I'm never going to judge someone for what they do with their body. And also I support women for their rights and wrongs, but I was just like, am I supposed to be keeping a list? Like, is that what people are doing? Because I'll be so honest, I don't even want to remember like 3/4 of the people that I've slept with, much less like 152 of them. Anyways, is that something that the kids are doing nowadays? Like, is that something I'm supposed to be doing? Should I like be keeping a list?
Is that something the kids, what is she, 11? Is that so? She's talking about what? You're talking about, you were a baby. That's also, so that's New York City. That's Houston Street. Mama can recognize it. I spent a lot of years in New York, so she's sitting on Houston Street. Okay, so 152, Stirling. Oof, man alive. Should she be, she asks, she's inviting you to answer, should she be keeping a list? What do you say to a girl like this who's clearly taken a bit aback by 152, but has quite a stack of her own, shall we say?
To be fair, I kind of respect the fact that she's kept a
A
document.
notes app?
And she's taken notes, and she's identified like all these like common variables. Actually, the autist in me is actually kind of impressed by this.
Would you date her though?
No. I'd probably now would I slide into the add number 153, probably. That wouldn't be too hard by the sounds of it.
Okay, so how do you tell? Because girls lie. They're liars, right? Let's just say they lie about their body count all the time. So are you able to tell a high body count girl without their confession?
Yeah. Yeah, you could, especially
How do you tell?
by the way they react to you. Like, you can, by how feminine and compliant they are. Like, how much pushback is there? Is a certain energy? Because
It's like a submissive energy if they don't have a high body count, you're saying.
yeah, in generally speaking. And now, you're never going to, you're right, no woman's ever going to tell you the number. They're always going to lie about the number. In fact, my friend Paul Benjamin, he has a very interesting trick.
Oh.
And his trick is, what you do is, to figure out roughly what a woman's body count is you ask her what would be an unacceptably high body count for a man to have.
Okay.
And whatever number she gives you, hers is probably just below that.
Ooh. So if they say like 100, I mean, how do you even get into one? I don't even, I know I'm slightly older. I won't say old because, audience be nice. But man, I don't know anyone that was doing that. Even the girls that were like nasty in high school and college and were not even approaching. And in my 20s, even like the worst of the worst. I remember working at a bar and a girl used to drink, she used to drink Bailey's in the morning with her coffee. And it was just, every day was like a different guy. But even that girl, 152 is kind of, I don't know. Is this what people are encountering? Is this real, or is this what guys are encountering?
This seems like in New York, I can very much believe that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like from what I've heard about the New York dating scene, is that it is very transactional, very.
I grew up there. It wasn't like. It was always a little transient, shall we say, but not to this extent. What I love too is this, like, I'm not going to judge you. You notice how they have to put that in?
Yeah.
The caveat of like, oh, I support the sisterhood. I'm not going to judge a woman if she's got a body count of 145, even if she's got the crow's feet and still doing it. Like it's just they are told, these young women are told that this is a sign of empowerment and that they have to endorse it. So even though she's saying, oh my God, she's got to come in and give her like, I don't mean to judge nonsense.
Something instinctually in her is judging though.
Right.
They
know it.
Yeah, she knows it. By the virtue of the fact that she has to say she's not judging, she's like trying to suppress something that is innately trying to come out of her anyway.
And that's a good point, because then do these girls know that ultimately what they're doing is going to hurt them? Because it will hurt, right? If you, it's not just the number, right? Because they can lie about that. But if they get to say 35 and they've got a body count of 152, God, man alive, they're going to have all that damage because it's damaging. There is no way that you can tell me that women go through 152 guys and they're not like numb on the inside. There's not some guys they really liked and wish they would have gotten a call the next day and they didn't. They're not getting affection. They're not getting love. They're drinking too much wine. They're out partying. They feel like an object. All these things happen. You can't tell me that that's not then going to be a problem when they meet the nice guy and they decide, and they've got all this damage that they've incurred. Do they know that they're hurting themselves? I wonder. No,
they don't. They've bought the lie that a woman and a man can have as much as they want and it's going to affect them equally. Like it's not, they've bought this complete fallacy that women can have as much as they want
that we're the same
without any repercussion. Like men can, like I get flack for this all the time, obviously, given my quite significant body count, about 4 times what that lady's was. But it just doesn't like me. I'm a pretty well-adjusted guy. I like to think.
Yes.
Given what I've been through.
Yes.
Like and what I've done.
Interestingly, Stirling has this like really checkered past and has like a more balanced nervous system than I do. So I don't know what's going on here, man. But it's the difference between a man and a woman.
That's the difference between men and women. Yeah. We're programmed a bit differently. I forgot what the point I was trying to make with her was she's not going to like, oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. The damage that people talk about, like it's this sort of ethereal term that gets thrown around. Like what does that actually mean, right? When a woman has slept around with quite a lot of men, what that actually means, like biologically, is that she doesn't produce as much oxytocin. She doesn't, which is what you use to pair bond with somebody, right? Which is what creates love, right? And this affects women. It doesn't really affect men, but it does affect women. That as that body count increases, that partner number increases, like the amount of oxytocin she will release from things like orgasms, things like holding hands, hugging, cuddling, like just sex in general, the amount of oxytocin she's going to produce is going to go down.
Okay, so then she's less likely to bond with that guy that she ultimately, and then is she more likely to cheat, honestly?
Yes, that too, yes. I mean, that's statistically proven. The greater number of sexual partners a woman has, the higher her likelihood of cheating in a marriage. That's been proven.
Because then if you're unable to like bond in that way, every guy wants these women that have this like tunnel vision, right? For them. I mean, I get why, right? Because then she's going to be more faithful. She's going to be more loyal. And the truth of the matter is that you are more likely to get that if you get someone who doesn't have a high body count, who doesn't have a long dating history, you know, who falls madly in love. Maybe you're like the first love. There is something about that first love. It is real for a woman, maybe not for a guy. The first person she has sex with, the first person she takes a vacation with, these firsts get stuck and it becomes a really powerful thing. I actually had a friend who had fallen in love like right out of college, fell in love with a guy, and he wasn't even like this really amazing guy, but she fell in love with him first vacation, first time she had sex, first everything. She left that guy ultimately, but was somehow like stuck on him for 20 years. It was like decades. She couldn't get over it because it was like embedded in her hormones, all of those first. So it's really true, guys, when you think about it, I
mean, as a guy, it's an incredible experience being able to give a woman the first of anything.
Right.
Like I'm the first person to take her out, overseas. I'm the first person to take her to a nice restaurant. I'm the first person, like, forget the sexual stuff, like, even though that's also part of it. But like any of these like life experiences, if you're the first person to show her something about the world, well, you feel significant as a man, and you have this sense of like, oh, like she's mine. I can grow with this woman now. I can show her the world, and I'm not being manipulated. I'm not being like a because she did this with some other guy.
And she's not likely to leave you because now she's associating all these incredible things with you, not with like, oh, well, I did this last week with Tommy and 2 years ago I went to Malibu with, like it becomes like you're just a number in the system as opposed to being.
She's not comparing your experience with you to like this part of, this one was better. This restaurant was nicer. That trip to Dubai was nicer or whatever.
Right.
Which is ultimately like, it's disrespectful and it's like ungrateful.
Right.
Right? If you're trying to like show a woman the world.
Well, of course, which we see a lot of ladies like that. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. All right, I got to take a break to show everyone. Y'all are loving the meat sticks. I can't. I'm so excited. This is like my baby, even though it's not my product. This is Lineage. This is the garlic and onion I have today. Y'all have been buying it. You keep writing me. Somebody wrote me the other day and said they were on a plane eating the meat sticks and sent me a photo. I was so proud. All right. Those of you who don't know, we have a discount code for you. I'll give you that in a second. This is 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef. This is liver and heart. This one has garlic and onion. It's actually very good. The spicy one is really good too. If you don't like that, the classic is amazing. The classic is actually my favorite. And this is regenerative, beyond organic, no seed oils, no sugar. It's like a little steak in a bag because it's air dried. It's amazing. Your discount code is Jedediah 10. You're going to get 10% off of anything site-wide. So you can do this. You can do the raw honey. You can do the beef tallow. You can do the creatine. You can do the protein powder, which also has heart and liver in it. I'm going to bring some of that in for you guys to see. Lineageprovisions.com. It's going to be linked in the description. I want you to try it. And I want you to tell me, did you love it as much as I did? I'm just saying. I have it here. I'm going to give this one to Stirling.
I was going to ask if I can have that.
Yes,
that sounds amazing.
He is going to have it. And it's going to be his little snack in the Uber. Just saying. All right. We're going to go to number 4 when you're ready, Logan.
It's like I'm just partying every single weekend. And I'm going to have to party tomorrow, and then I'm going to have to party in 2 weeks from now.
Okay, so we see this late 30s with no kids and adult money, and she's obviously putting on a spoof act. She's trying to tell all the ladies that's amazing, like late 30s, and I just have to party. It sounds like Chelsea Handler, a younger version.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, remember? Just, I have to party, and she's like drinking the wine, and you're like, wow, honey, you look like who did it and ran, but let's not even go there. Okay, late 30s, no kids, adult money is being praised. Women are told, get to 38. It'll be the most amazing time you've ever spent. They're all lying. They are all inside starting to be extremely conscious of the fact that their fertility is slipping away. You give them, I said before 35. I said, 35 is the age. This is getting later and later and later. When I was younger, and I married late, I don't know if you know my whole story, but I married late. I was in TV. I was distracted. It was just not the best decision making. But I remember it used to be like 30 was a big deal for women. You'd hit 30 and everyone would be like, oh my God, I'm 30. Let me figure my shit out now. Okay. Now it's like getting to inch toward 40 because women are being told, you hear all these stories online. Oh, you know, I had a baby at 40 and it's fine. It was easy. It was this. And I did have a baby at 40, by the way. And it went well for me. It could have easily not gone that way. And I sit here and I tell women, don't take the chance. Don't do what I did because I could have easily not gotten lucky. What is this about, though? What is this like need that these women have now to tell other women, get to 38 and act like you're a kid in college and party it all and you're going to be really happy when we all know that these are the very women popping the Xanax?
Well, they're just trying to justify their own life decisions. Like misery loves company, right?
Right. So, in other words, it makes them feel better about what they did to have other women, you know, make the same mistakes. And then it's like, instead of just two people in a pile of shit, it's like everyone.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh, I can't possibly be a piece of shit. I can't possibly have a terrible like life and have made awful decisions because look all these other people around me who are in the same boat.
And they want friends too to do it with.
Exactly.
Like to go out and at 38 be, I can't imagine. Oh my God. And but really, if you think about it, I'm not out in the scene right now. How does that 38-year-old woman really feel that she goes out to a bar and she's now competing for attention with a 22-year-old?
Yeah, but she can still she can outcompete that 22-year-old by not being as picky when it comes to who she takes home.
Okay.
And I know this because when I was a young man in my early 20s, those are the women I was going after.
Okay.
Because they were the easy ones.
Interesting, because they were older, they had less options, so they were
so as a young
past
guy,
their
like
prime.
the 20-year-old bloke is going after the MILF because he knows she wants the attention from a young hot guy and she'll go home with him. Versus the girl that's his age or younger, or, you know, like 20, 21,
Won't give
whatever.
him time.
She's like up on her high horse and she's probably been a bit snobby to him. It's like, all right, well, fine, I'll take the MILF home. So she's still getting attention. She's still getting attention. She's competing. She's not the prettiest girl in the club because there's younger girls there.
But inside, she knows. Like if I were to, and I'm not saying some of these girls don't look great at 38. Like you can be gorgeous. I always say this about women. You can be beautiful at any age. Like there's something to bring to the table. You can be, you know, you can take care of yourself. You can eat well. You can exercise, all those things. But like if I'm being honest, I would not want to compete with my 23-year-old self. Like I know, and these women know. They know, even though they're making videos saying, oh, I look better at 40 than I did at 22. I mean, honey, just stop the madness, right? Like, let's just be honest. Like we just don't, you know, your estrogen is different. Your hormones are different. Now, unless you were like a giant whale at 22 when you changed your life and you lost weight. I mean, I'm sure there is some circumstances there, but it's very rare. Most women, I found that I was like in my prime, just visually, I would probably say like 26 for me because that was like where I feel like I was most fit, but I was still young. I still had the little bit of the baby face, but not too much. I think most women just know. So even if she's going out and she can get that, you know, young guy who's like, well, I can't get the 21-year-old hottie, so I'll get the 38, still cute, but was once hottie. She knows. She knows.
Well, it's sort of that is a validation for herself of like, oh, I've still got it. As well.
That takes the young guy home, but he's not going to. Odds are he's
not going to be in a relationship with her.
No.
Right.
I mean, odds are no.
Yeah. But it's.
Although you see the cougars now. And I kind of was one. So, like, I mean, my husband's younger than me. So I'm saying all this with a grain of salt. But, you know, and people say, listen, things can happen. We saw a video of Charlize Theron. I don't know did you see that video of Charlize Theron where she's 50 and she had with this like 26-year-old. And people were like giving her a hard time about it. And I said, listen, do what you want. I mean, she's Charlize Theron, so it's a little bit different, super famous, whatever. Do whatever you want. But that's not representative of like the average person's story, A. And secondly, like more often than not, that 26-year-old is not going to marry the 50-year-old, right? Like, let's just be honest. So like, what are you ultimately getting out of it at the end of the day as a woman?
Yeah. I mean, I do think there are like a lot of really stunningly beautiful women in their 30s. Like, right. But it's because they're taking care of themselves.
Right.
Like there are like I think there are objectively some women in their like late 20s or 30s who look better, are put together better than like 20-year-old women.
Because 20-year-olds can be sloppy.
Exactly, because they like she's put more effort in.
Right.
Like she's going to training 3 times a week. You know,
right.
Like she's prepping, she's studying videotape before the match. Like she's doing everything she needs to do.
Knows.
Yeah, to put herself in a competitive position.
Right.
But But on like a biological scale for like the male brain, it's not even necessarily about like how attractive, like visually attractive she is. Like there's a part of us that is just responds to, I believe the term is nubility. It's like fertility, but like when she's peak fertility, because all that our bodies care about is survival and replication.
Right.
That's all our bodies actually give a shit about. We don't care about like social norms and moralities and things like that. Like ultimately every drive that you have as a man or a woman comes down to survival and replication. And it's like, from the guy's perspective, it's like, well, the 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 23-year-old, I'm going to have more kids with her. I'm going to be able to crank out a lot more than I am.
And you have more time to kind of like space it out. Yeah, that's what I tell people. I mean, I got very lucky. I was in TV, so it was a little bit different because I was, on the screen, getting a lot of attention, all this stuff. I made a lot of decisions that I wouldn't make this time around. I did get married late, found the love of my life. I'm crazy in love with him. Had a child, got pregnant on the first try at 40, which was kind of insane. We had a road trip planned. And I was like, my mom took 7 years to have me and she started young. And I was like, okay, maybe this won't happen. Maybe it will. I wasn't going to do IVF because for health reasons, doesn't align with like my thinking on hormones and all that. And I was like, okay, let's just start throwing caution to the wind and see how it goes. And like 2 weeks later, I was like, Mom, I'm pregnant. Like, I'm going to cancel our road trip, like everything. So it's not that it can't happen.
So he hit a buzzer beater.
Yeah, I know, right?
From like half court.
It was a really fun night, I will say that. No, but I had a great time. But no, really, like I tell women, and then COVID hit and crazy. I probably would have cranked another one out. It was the midst of that time where like you couldn't go into a hospital. New York was crazy. We moved 2 times. It was insanity. But I will say, like, I wish I had more time, because once I found the guy and did all like it. You shouldn't do it this late because if you want to space out kids or if you want to have more kids or if you want to have 5 years to like just take a minute and then have another, it just creates issues around that.
I mean, I agree with that. And I'm, as a 38-year-old man, like I haven't had kids yet. And luckily I've found a woman who I can have kids with now.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm in that same, but I'm like, I wish, like, because I see my friends with kids and how amazing that is. And I'm like, man, I wish I had this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm gonna be in my 50s and I'm not gonna be able to run around and play as much with my kids as I could have if I'd been 10 years younger,
Yeah, I mean, ideally, like, I really think people are supposed to have kids really young. I think, like, if I could do it again, and I was not ambitious, not to say my story. I know people are like, show the clips, Jed, but I was not an ambitious young woman. I kind of bought the story that I should be. I didn't want to work. I was a objectively attractive, I'll bring the photos, don't worry, young woman, and I had a lot of options. I was very shy. I was very hesitant. I didn't like the New York finance guys, so I was very like standoffish. I didn't know how to like do that whole game. I didn't want to do the whole game. But I looking back, man, I wish I had babies at like 25, like, now granted, I'm grateful. This was my path and I wouldn't change anything because I got Hartley out of it. That's my little man. So I wouldn't change anything. But I can say to women like, hey, I don't recommend this. And the reason I'm saying that is because I don't want them to land in a position where a lot of my friends got to 40 and couldn't have children. And they're devastated. I mean, they are beyond devastated. So these people who are telling women, 37, go party, they don't give a lick about women. They don't care. All right.
They want to make money off their IVF treatment instead.
Right. Well, and it's expensive. I mean, I wasn't going to do that, but I see even friends, it's failing. They froze their eggs. None of them are good. Like, this is not bulletproof. What's much more bulletproof, and of course not fully, because some women are infertile young. It happens, but it's much more likely that you're going to have a good chance to have those options if you start young. And I would be just an asshole if I wasn't honest with women about that. Okay. This is a great one. Number 5. I want to get your opinion on this.
Can all my psychologists, therapists, psychology majors, whoever it is, explain to me the science behind why guys cannot possibly just see you as a friend? And I'm not saying this just to complain or to be upset, but every guy friend that I've ever had always ends up confessing feelings. Every guy that I thought, I looked at like a brother, I was genuinely, I'm being so serious, oh, they're a brother to me, never. Always somehow, there's something that they say or do that I'm like, what? What did you just say? What did you just say? Because why do they always confess feelings? And I don't know if it's a difference in they just don't think that women and men are built to be friends, so they think that they look at every woman like a opportunity to date. I don't know, but it's such a common problem. I don't get it.
Okay, Sterling, go for it.
Or I'll pose this. I'll respond to her question with another question. Why does she feel the need to have male friends in the first place? What is she getting out of having male friends?
What do you think she's getting?
I'll tell you what she's getting. She's getting attention from men.
Yeah, of course.
She's getting time. She's getting their time. She's probably getting their resources to some degree, or their help with things, right?
Right.
So she's like, this is a one-way exchange, right?
Something breaks in our house. Oh, hey, Tommy, do you mind coming over my toilet? Ooh, something like that.
So she is getting all of the benefit. Like for every male friend she has, she's getting all of the benefits of being in a relationship with a man without having to have sex with him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's like, I'm going to throw it back on her. It's like, why do you feel the need to? I would say that that's taking advantage of men in a weird way, because so many guys have been in that exact situation where they're like, they have a crush on the female friend or whatever. And the only person I know who pulls off very successfully having female friends is Michael Sartain.
Hi, Mike. How you doing? Mike will go in the comments now and be like, let me tell you how I do it. He does come in the comments.
That's because he sleeps with half of them.
Mike, you've been outed. Sorry.
But the way Michael does it actually, even the ones that Michael isn't sleeping with, it's a fair exchange of value, because the ones he ain't sleeping with are setting him up to sleep with another girl. Like they're giving him social proof. He's actually getting something from the friendship. Like he's getting status, he's getting social proof, he's getting attraction from other women by virtue of having female friends. I guarantee in her situation, the guys who are her friends aren't getting much in return.
Why are they there then?
Because they want to fuck her.
But how long will they sit around and wait for that?
Their whole life.
No freaking way.
They'll sit around their entire life and then confess on their deathbed that they love. Everyone's watched The Notebook. It's the same kind of crap. Like they just sit around because they've got no other options, and they don't have self-respect. They don't understand that, like, they've been taught. I mean, I'm sounding very misogynist, but they've been taught that it's an equal exchange. A male-female friend, a platonic male-female friendship like that is somehow an equal exchange, and it isn't, because a man's time is valuable. Like because a man has to go out and build his self-worth.
Right.
Every day he spent being an emotional.
He's got to be working. He's got to be doing this.
Right.
He's got to be making money. He's got to be building assets. Right. She just looks cute.
If he's sitting there being her emotional tampon for like a day or for a weekend, helping her get over her ex,
he can't go to work.
That's a weekend he's just wasting on his mission. So it's not actually a fair exchange.
Let me ask you this, Sterling. I mean, I got to, and I asked Mike this, and I think he lied to me, Mike. I love you, but I do think you lied. Do these guys really want to talk to these women and have, like, what do they really, do they get joy out of being friends with these women, generally speaking?
I think I can't speak for Michael because, I'm not him, but like in that situation where in a situation where you're like the center of attention and you're exhibiting tons of social proof and you're like in that party environment, it is fun to feed off the female energy.
If you have a problem, you're not calling your female friend.
No.
If you have to problem solve something, you're not calling your female friend. No. If you have a financial distress, you're not calling your female friend. Really, so unless you
might call your female friend for a connection, though.
Right. Another woman who you would then...
Or a guy that's sliding in her DMs who's like got a good network.
Oh, that guy sliding into your DMs is starting a business and I could potentially partner with... Okay. So it's all about... That's a very different approach, though, than... That's more of a business-friendly, pleasant interaction. That's not really a friend. Like, you're not going to... I don't see it as like... If a guy has a real issue, he's going to call his male friends. Like, end of story. He's not going to display weakness. I mean, to a woman, he's not going to talk finances with a woman. He's just not going to do it. So I'm led to just then conclude that all of these guys are trying to sleep with her and they will just wait and wait. And guys, don't do that. Like, don't wait and wait and wait and wait. It's crazy.
I mean, the only women that I am basically friends with,
that
I'm not sleeping with, are my friends, like,
at least he's honest.
My friends' wives and girlfriends.
Right, because that's like untouchable
Yeah.
turf. And also, you're not going to call them, again, if you go out to dinner, everyone's together, you've got your girl of the moment, and they've got their wives or girlfriends or whatever, and it's social and it's nice and everyone's polite and great, but you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to call Jerry's wife because, I'm in this financial predicament and she knows what's up. I mean, odds are just no, right? So let's just be honest. So the reason I'm getting at that is because this unequal exchange is really true what you're saying, because she can have these male friends and get a lot of stuff. Like there was one video we did where a girl was talking about how she had no boyfriend, but she had dated around like casually for a bunch of time, and she had accrued like a financial advisor, a mechanic, all of the things that you would need in your life. Instead of having one guy be that for her, now she just had a roster and she didn't owe them anything. And they were just like, they're like this. I mean, guys have to flip this power dynamic. They can't just sit around like puppy dogs and do this stuff.
Do you know who Patrice O'Neill is?
I know the name.
The black comedian. He died of a heart attack, unfortunately. Big fat guy. Hilarious.
Okay.
He had a really funny quote, and he for this exact scenario that these guys are in, where they're just orbiting around a woman. He called them time because you're just giving your time without getting it. Like a woman who gives sex without receiving anything in return, we call that woman a But the male equivalent is the time where he's just giving endless amounts of time and not really getting what he wants back in return. And most guys will guys aren't even honest enough with themselves to admit that they actually just want to sleep with that woman. And then eventually push comes to shove and they confess their love for her.
Or she gets a boyfriend, gets into a big fight, and they're like, hi, how you doing? I've been here all along. You ready now? Without so many words. All right, number 6, Logan.
I think the men these days are being bred a little bit different. I think they're not as willing to be rejected or take a risk. And so I think that shows up when you're out and about. Like men aren't really approaching as much as they used to. And I think they're more content kind of staying behind the phone, liking you on an app. I even get like liking my Instagram pictures a lot, or like liking my story. That's not considered making a move. Like I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to see you liking my pictures and DM you being like, hi. Yeah. I'm like at minimum,
or like
you can
dating you to like,
right. Like that's not my job.
Okay. So we talk a lot about how men in many respects are not approaching women. It's driving them nuts too, by the way. They're making video after video, all half naked, being like, I'm out and I put this dress on and no one's coming up to me. I'm done. They're having a meltdown, which I think guys are like, oh, finally, I'm winning. But why do you think they're not approaching women in the same way?
Well, women made a global witch hunt against flirting, and now they're mad that men aren't flirting with them.
That's right. It's kind of like how they killed chivalry.
The whole Me Too movement caused this.
Okay.
That's literally what caused it, especially for the younger guys. Maybe the older gentlemen, like they weren't really affected by it too much, and
they still approach.
They're used to it. There's still the ones who are single, maybe.
Yes.
Who aren't locked down. But younger guys, like I get these kind of younger guys, like telling me they're terrified of going up and talking to a woman. I literally made a post on Twitter yesterday. It was about like what's the worst thing that can happen if you go up and say hi to a girl? You're not going to regret it. And I had like a couple of dudes like slide in the comments and be like, I got accused of by just saying hi to a chick on campus.
Wow.
Like crazy stories. And I'm like, part of me is like, is this really true? But even if it's not true, like they think there's still the mentality of like, oh, I'm going to get accused of being a creep or being accused of,
right. It's just
stepping
not
a
worth it.
by just trying to like approach a woman and say hi, So it's. I feel sorry for a lot of these younger guys out there who are like.
So what should they do? Because
they still got to do it. They still have to do it. Like you're not going to like get anywhere by living in fear like that around like a possible. Like,
and then you'll
scenario.
like emit that energy, and it's very unattractive.
Completely, And it's funny what she said about like guys not. Guys like giving likes and then expecting her to like slide in the DMs or responding to a story and stuff like that. Like the responding to a story thing does actually work.
It does.
I'll tell you that right now.
Well, it works for you. I don't know if it would.
True.
It's
true. I do.
I don't know if it would work for everybody, but I tell them actually. I kind of like that a lot of these men have stopped going up to these girls. I'm a big believer in. If you're a man and you get your together and you walk into a room with that energy of having your together and you pay women attention, but it's not doting and it's not love bombing and it's not overly eager, but it's polite and it's interested, but I also have other things going on, and come sit with me if you want, but I don't really need you to come sit with me. I'm perfectly content to just sit here and drink my drink by myself. You become a magnet for these women. So I actually tell these guys, like, build yourself up so that you are not chasing women who then are disrespecting you. Because what I hear from them a lot is, I'm not afraid, I just don't like the way I'm treated, and it feels like a game. It feels like I'm going up to someone to give them their ego boost for the day, and then she turns to her friend and goes, ew, or something like that, or nasty, and gets her free drink and then doesn't give you the time of day. They're not getting anything out of it. So I want them to be, like, I love that the women are going insane now because they walk into these, but because it's so many years of just feeling like, well, I'm a hot girl, so I can disrespect men, that they've had that attitude.
It's a bit of a paradox for guys, because that scenario you just described, like, it's a paradox because he has to show intent, but he also has to have complete freedom from the outcome.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which is really hard to get your head around as a guy, like, because most guys are like a lot more logical in their thinking. So,
right.
And that is not a very logical thing.
Right.
The intent of approaching and saying hi and starting a conversation with the freedom of outcome of not wanting anything at all, that's a balancing act, and that's a reason why it's actually rare for guys to be relatively charming.
Right.
Because, like, to be able to sweep a woman off her feet like that, because that is a hard paradox for a guy to wrap his head around.
It's a hard energy too to convey, because you don't want to look desperate, but you want to look interested. You want to look like you're really there for the right. It's not an easy juggle, but I think if you can get that. I had a guy that I knew 10 years ago who he had it down to a science. I mean, it was kind of crazy. He was always the guy. He was not particularly good looking, but he was the guy who would always get female attention. And he had this way about him where he would approach them or not, or look their way and give them just enough that he just had this, I don't really need you, but I would really love to spend some time with you vibe about him. And they would just, it was like he was magnetized. And I would just sit there like, wow, look at this guy go. And he wasn't really, so it's something that it's hard to master, but if you can do it, man alive, it's like a gift. Those guys just get, well, they get a lot of I'm not going to lie. And other things. Then they get women wanting to date them, wanting to nail them down, wanting to, I want to be your girlfriend, like
they get adoration and genuine desire.
Yes, it's true. All right. This is the final clip of the day. And this one says under it, this might be good for Stirling to answer. I don't know why I wrote that, but we'll find out. Okay, here we go.
Okay, this is another question for men. I was in Trader Joe's the other day, and there was a man in there, so cute. We probably smiled at each other 4 different times throughout the store. And I am a Southern girl, and I don't approach men first, but I will smile and whatever. But this man was not saying anything to me. He even got in line behind me and was smiling, and I was just like, I don't know what else to do here. And I think women have made it so increasingly difficult and uncomfortable for men to approach us in public spaces that good men won't even say something, even when I've made it very clear, like, hey, I'm smiling at you all over the store. Like, I think you are attractive and I would like to talk to you. Like, they won't do it. So, like, what should I say to a man like that I have smiled at 4 times, but I don't know where to take it any further? Because, like, I'm willing to try anything, y'all, okay? Help me out. Help a sister out.
She's cute. I mean, she's cute. She's obviously a little
charming.
older, very like sweet. Yeah. Southern women have that charm to them.
That's charming.
Okay.
What should she say? She should say, you don't, like, if she should say to that guy, you don't take like a hint very well, do you?
Right.
Like, that's calling it out and being honest.
Is that a turn off though?
With a smile on her face.
Okay, but is it a turn off for a woman to approach a man?
No. Because it never happens to dudes. Ever.
Do you think they would just be like, wow, like this is amazing?
He's
like,
going to
the best
be
thing
like,
ever.
like if a woman actually approaches a guy and hits on him, like, she's going to have to wait a second for him to process it.
Like, what just happened?
Yeah, because his brain
is it my birthday?
His
is it
brain
Christmas?
is going to be spinning, being like, wait a minute, am I being punked right now? Is there like a hidden camera somewhere? Like, is this a joke? Is she trying to make fun of me? Like, and then it's legit. And then the conversation will start. Like, it'll take him a few seconds to register.
Do you think he's just not interested, like a guy like that? If he's smiling but not approaching? Like that's where it becomes a little bit difficult, where these guys now are saying, I've had enough of the crap, which, by the way, I get why you do that. And they're just not approaching. Now women don't know how to detect, is he not interested in me? Or is he just wanting me to take initiative here because he's been burned, by women with a body count of 152? How do they know?
Well,
how do you know if a guy's interested? Like,
well, he could just be being polite if he's a Southerner as well.
That's true.
Just smiling and waving, just being a Southern gentleman.
Right.
But that's kind of like, she's got the same conundrum that men have. It's like,
right.
Because women don't make a move. They don't actually do anything.
They do now.
Oh, she looked at me from across the room. Does that mean she actually wants me to go up and talk to her? Or did she just accidentally make eye contact?
Right.
She's in the exact same conundrum that every man is in.
Oh, look how y'all flip the power dynamic on that one, huh? Now they're having to do what you have to do. Oh, I love it. It's true.
But I like in that situation, if you're the guy and you see a woman deliberately
maybe he's married.
If it happened, maybe he's in a relationship.
Maybe he's got a girlfriend, honey, and he's like, she wants to bang me, but I have a girlfriend. Hi, yes, so I'll pass.
There you go. That is also incredibly likely.
Leave it to me to be guttural about it, but it's true. It's true. All right, listen, Stirling, this has been amazing, but I want to get to Stirling has a website that he wants to plug, stirlingforher.com. Can you tell us what this is and why you did it?
Cool. So for the last year and a half, I've been constantly getting DMs from women who watch my material and are asking me, your stuff is fantastic. My boyfriend, my husband follows your stuff. We're having great now. What can I do to please him?
Ooh,
or some variation thereof of, do you have any advice like this for
Was it
women?
like, hey, Stirling, what can I do? And if there's a private lesson, I would sign up with you just to get some more information.
I do get that DM. Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Wow.
And you're like, well, listen, as long as it's approved by the husband, this is my intake form for that, and it's an additional X amount of dollars. Okay. No, but okay. So you created this. It's a guide essentially.
Yeah.
And how detailed is it? Let's see.
It's pretty good. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. I've had a few different women review it already. I'm getting some really good feedback from it. They're loving it. But it's called The Pleasure Blueprint. It's a guide for getting really good from your man. So. The conundrum with a woman wanting something from her man in the bedroom, wanting something more, wanting something different, right? Wanting to correct his technique, right? The conundrum here is you don't want to bruise the male sexual ego. Like you can literally give a guy like erectile dysfunction if you approach this topic in the wrong way.
And that doesn't help you, ladies.
You give him a complex, right?
Yeah, right.
So you have the challenge then was because I kept getting asked this question. The challenge for me was like, okay, well, how do I teach women to ask for what they want in bed in a way that men will respond very positively to, and it won't, crush their ego like that. So that is what this is for. That's what it is.
Does he get into like positions and all like?
It's a lot. It's a lot of dirty talk advice for the women to get what they're looking for, and there's a few more things laid in there about like sexual tension and how to actually build the sexual tension so that your man will just take you.
I like this because there's so much that gets told to men about how women need a lot of foreplay and women need this and women need that and all these things, but it doesn't go the other way a lot. Women are often told, oh, just show up and that's it. Right.
Men are just this light switch.
Yeah. Right. Like guys are just good to go and it's all going to be fine. Just show up. And then some women feel like challenges happen and they don't know how to navigate that turf. So look at you being an entrepreneur. You saw a space in the marketplace and you went in with your expertise. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's show. Mr. Stirling Cooper, thank you so much for being here. I know they're going to love it. Don't love it more than when I'm alone, though, or I'll get my feelings hurt. Just kidding. All right. We love you all. Thank you. We'll see you again soon. Audience, I'll see you again soon. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. We got more guests rolling in when we get those subs up. See you soon. Bye.